that trumpet sound, boy, you don't wanna miss out. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in with the Lord or you out with the Lord. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you out, ain't no straddling the fence. Either in with the Lord or you out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yes, there's only two people in here again today.
Yes, sir.
Shabbat shalom.
Yo, there we go. Yo. Yeah, man. We got another here, made it to another Shabbat. We got a good old lesson lined up for y'all from Akvern. We got some current events that's going on around the world, and then here locally with the last one that we're gonna watch. But you got anything out before we get cracking with these current events?
Man, just Shabbat shalom. And let's get it.
Yes, anybody got testimony, anything that they want to share since y'all here? Take that as a no. So this first one is the earthquakes. We ain't gonna watch the whole thing, but the earthquakes in Venezuela, Japan, and California that happened this past week, 2 days ago actually, on the 24th. So let's see what it's talking about. We'll get it on there.
Four earthquakes.
Every week.
3 continents in less than 24 hours. On June 24 and 25, the ground shook across the world. First, California, then Venezuela, then Japan. Importantly, no casualties have been reported in Japan, and no fatalities have been reported in California either. By contrast, Venezuela has already recorded at least 32 deaths, making it by far the deadliest of the 3 events. To many, it felt more than a coincidence, or rather a rarity.
They had a large number of folks that was injured, and it's like in the thousands or whatnot. And there was one I seen before that. Yeah, a lot more folks than died than the 32 that's on this one. But Earth reshaping herself, getting back to the original state. Everything getting leveled out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see with the war, Israel don't look the same no more. Tel Aviv don't look the same no more. Iran probably look the same. Yeah. This one to go along with the weather is tornadoes here in the Midwest. I don't know if I shared it on here. Yeah.
Earthquakes in diverse places.
Yes,
Let's get started. NBC's Maggie Vespa in hard-hit Streator, Illinois this morning. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Savannah. Good morning. And by the light of day, you can see this damage is absolutely breathtaking. This home, obviously, completely destroyed. And neighbors just confirmed to us this is the home where they say a couple was pulled from the rubble, trapped in their basement after the tornado hit overnight. And then we push past it. It's not just this home. It's home after home, left totally in pieces, as Mother Nature's wrath is being felt across the U.S.
Oh my God!
Overnight, multiple tornadoes tearing across the heartland.
We're not completely safe.
Funnel clouds barreling through fields. More than a dozen twisters reported across Indiana, Wisconsin, and Illinois.
When it hit, it hit. I mean, it was like there was no time.
In the small city of Streator, an entire cul-de-sac sheared right through, with multiple other homes destroyed. One man injured and trapped under the rubble.
I think it's
This piece here.
That's how they found
this
it.
one here.
Spotted by a photojournalist before being rescued.
They said we're gonna record you, but we ain't gonna help.
In nearby Deut, Illinois.
All right, we'll stop it here. Crazy. I was playing all this stuff earlier today with no hesitations, no skips.
Nothing there.
Let's see if they'll play this. This goes along with the lesson that I'm gonna be doing. This is some young people getting sentenced for a murder down there in Jacksonville, Florida, or some part in Florida. That happened a couple years ago. But he gives a statement to the youth, and there's another dude that gave a statement to the younger generation too. So we're gonna see what he got to say.
So to my city, man, it ain't worth it, boy. Like, it ain't worth it. Like, me being a rapper from my city and Fulio being a rapper from our city. It ain't worth it. Like, the beefing, the shooting, like, for what? Like, for what? Like, when you sitting in your cell alone, cold, it's lonely as hell in that bed. Everybody leave you.
Long in that cell, long as hell.
Like, nobody here for you. Like, the ones that's your ride or die, your girlfriends, whoever you love, the only person there for you is your mother, and maybe like one friend, maybe, but it ain't worth it though, bro. It ain't worth it. I was 21 years old facing the death penalty. I never ever, my only interactions with law enforcement was traffic tickets. Wake up next morning, I'm facing the death penalty. That's how quick life can change. It ain't worth it, bro. That's all.
21 years
I'm
old.
sorry if I was nervous.
Only had traffic tickets, never stay in jail. But that
Sorry.
No, it's okay,
that
Mr.
whole
Chance.
cell there,
And thank you for saying.
rude awakening, and he gave him a sober mind being in there, cause he ain't never been locked up. He didn't heard about it. Yeah, I can do this on my head. This time on my head, and until you actually get there and realize it's a different beast. This last one is here in Indiana. That coincides with the black on black crime and what we just watched about the testimony. In Westfield, Indiana, they building a new prison, which ain't too far from here. And this prison is going to be equipped with the firing squad. So, as of right now, the state of Indiana is only, I think this will be the fourth prison, but they only have 3 lethal injection prisons. This will be the first firing squad prison for capital punishment, but we'll let
all right. Well, as Indiana inches toward what could be its 4th state execution since resuming capital punishment, prison officials did confirm the state's next correctional complex is already.
Of course, it'll give me a damn commercial.
Equipped for an execution method whose lawmakers have yet to authorize. The Indiana Department of Corrections confirmed to the Indiana Capitol Chronicle that the new Westville Correctional Facility, now nearing its completion, is designed to accommodate both lethal injection and firing squad executions. But it's important to note right now in Indiana, the law only allows lethal injection. A DOC spokesperson declined to provide more information about the facility or its design, citing security concerns and non-public prison blueprints. So the development comes as the national death penalty policy increasingly converges in Indiana, and as federal officials lean on the Hoosier state for more flexibility. So the Trump administration earlier this year adopted firing squads as an authorized federal execution method and directed the Federal Bureau of Prisons to study whether the nation's federal execution facility should remain centered in Indiana or expand to another state that already permits additional execution methods. So an attempt to authorize firing squad alongside lethal injection was unsuccessful at the State House earlier this year, but now Indiana lawmakers are expected to revive the legislation come January. Federal executions are carried out at the U.S. Penitentiary in Terre Haute, and federal law generally ties execution methods to those authorized by the state where a death sentence is imposed or carried out.
All right, there's some current events for this are busy.
So they have to have the firing squad as a penalty.
Yeah. Well, you know, Indiana conservative state, so you know it didn't pass the first time. I think it'll pass eventually.
They said we can save some money and just use some bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, lay you down.
Lay you down, drag you out.
Man, I wonder if they're gonna put liners down before they step up there.
Nah, it probably won't. It probably won't have a reminder.
Everybody walk up, see them tattoos on that ground.
Mm-hmm.
There's some sick stuff, Rob.
Boy.
There's some sick. We talking about killing people. Well, that's all the conversation be about. Murder. Yeah.
Murder was the case that they gave.
That's what it is. That's what we're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
So photo about right off for the current events. You know, when we're looking at the earthquakes, it's like the Messiah said, it's gonna be earthquakes in diverse places. It's gonna be wars and rumors of wars. If that ain't what's going on right now, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, even with the death penalty, you know, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about black on black crime. So, you know, a lot of folks talk about they don't see color and things like that, you know, but there is a such thing as black on black crime. And we're going to talk about it. I can't put the notes up, but we'll just go through it. You know, anyway, Shabbat Shalom to the Mishpacha, to the 12 tribes worldwide. Everybody tuning in. Shabbat Shalom. Peace be to you and your home. And today we talking about a real topic. You know, it's a topic that's been spoke on for a long time, and it ain't going nowhere. It's really a biblical topic. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's really a biblical topic, but we're going to go ahead and frame it in that because it ain't been framed in that. It's been framed in culture. It's been framed in America. It's been framed in gangster. It's been framed in all kind of stuff. But here it goes. Black on black crime, a Hebrew Israelite perspective. The theme is understanding violence among brethren through scriptures, history, and crime data. So we want to put all that together. Introduction, this lesson is not designed to condemn a people or argue that any race is inherently more violent than another. Rather, it seeks to examine the phenomenon commonly referred to as black on black crime through two lenses: historical and criminological evidence, so straight facts, and the covenant framework presented in Scripture, the Bible. So we're going to look at it from historical point of view, and we're going to look at it from biblical point of view. The thesis of the study is that the overwhelming burden of homicide in many Black communities come from violence within those communities. So that's where we're starting at, right? From a Hebrew Israelite perspective, this pattern is viewed not merely as a social problem, but as evidence of covenant curses described in Deuteronomy 28 and reinforced through the prophets. Throughout this lesson, statistical findings and biblical interpretations are intentionally kept distinct. Crime statistics describe observable patterns. Scriptures provide a theological framework through which those patterns may be interpreted. So basically, we're trying to keep the facts on this side and the scripts on this side, and then let you put them together. Starting off in section 1, what do the statistics show? One of the most common assumptions in public discussion is that interracial violence is the primary danger facing Black communities, because high-profile cases receive extensive media attention. It says examples frequently discussed include George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, other nationally publicized interracial incidents. So basically, the main, like, in regular conversation, it's like the theme is, man, we targeted by outside races, and we the victims of racial hate. You see what I'm saying? Because of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, one of those type of high profile type situations. So right now it's the Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So all the focus is on Carmelo Anthony. All the talk is on Carmelo Anthony. He, it's kind of opposite for him. He murdered a white guy and ended up being, convicted. But it's still the same principle. It's basically like victimization or being targeted because of the race. You see what I'm saying? Unfair justice system. And even if you lean all the way to one side or the other, the point is that is it's a high profile case, so everybody knows about the case. Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's a rare occasion. You see what I'm saying? It's a rare occasion for a Black person of just a Black person to kill a white person. That's more rare. That's rare. It's really rare. Just like cop killings. It's rare for a criminal, not saying it don't happen, but it's rare. We hear about it, like the last one I remember is the Puerto Rican lady, or she was Hispanic or something. Here, the cop that got killed. That's the last one I remember.
Who? Lee? Lee?
Was she a Hispanic lady?
Nah.
Oh, she was a black lady?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, light skin?
Yeah.
Okay, she was a light skinned lady. That's the last, like, police that I know that got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens, but, like, I don't think it happened. Like, I can remember that, and I remember, like, it was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It was high profile. If it was more going on like that, I think I would hear more, and I think it would be some more high profile cases, but like, I haven't heard none since that. I don't know none since that here locally, but I can remember that one. So it's the same thing with these high profile cases. Like, not saying like interracial violence don't happen, but the ones that do happen get blown up. It says this. These events are significant and deserve individual consideration. So they are significant. It does happen. It is a big deal. However, they are not representative of the overall statistical pattern of homicide in the United States. So although this stuff is happening and although it's a big deal, it's not the norm. Federal homicide data collected over decades consistently show the majority of Black homicide victims are killed by Black offenders. The majority of white homicide victims are killed by white offenders. The majority of Hispanic homicide victims are killed by Hispanic offenders. So what is that telling you? You're usually killed by the same people you live among. That's just nature. You know what I'm saying? You're usually killed by the same people you live among. It's not this big, statistical difference of white folks or Hispanic folks going up. Like, it's not Hispanic folks going over into the Asian Chinatown and causing a ruckus. It's not the white folks just at an all-time high killing Black folks. Like, that was slavery. That happened during slavery. And, after that, right? But like now, the shackles can be taken off of your physicality and they can be put on your mind. So now you don't need shackles and confinements to be a slave. They got your mind shackled up. And some of these like points that people are arguing, they show your slave mentality. This demonstrates that violent crime is primarily interracial, not or interracial. So inside of your own race, it's showing that is where the crime come from. This is who you're dealing with on a regular. Like it's a fantasy, but it's a phenomenon of like how you can kind of frame people's minds to think something ain't real, like something that is reality ain't reality. Like to sit there and make it to like we don't already know this. Like we live in these neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? I really live in the neighborhood that I'm living in and this stuff is taking place in. Like I don't need the news to tell me who's killing who. You see what I'm saying? I don't need the news to tell me what's going on in my neighborhood. Like I'm really in there. I'm really living it. So like the statistics is just backing up what we saying, but we really living it, and what we living is the facts. So like they say the primary reason given by criminologists is proximity. So that's your area. People generally live near people of similar backgrounds, so you're usually around people that was brought up like you, attend the same schools, socialize within the same neighborhoods, work together, have disputes with those they know. So like that's normal. It's normal for people in the same house, just like you got children. Your children spend so much time together that sometimes they start beefing and fighting. You got close friends that just, spend too much time together. y'all get into it because y'all been around each other too long. That's what happens in the neighborhoods. People live near people. It says live near people of similar backgrounds, attend the same schools, socialize with the same neighbors, work together, have disputes with those they know. Consequently, most violent crimes occur within one's own community. So that makes sense. Just like you got, multiple siblings, most of the disputes, it's not gonna come from when you go outside, go to school, go to the. You like, sure, I'm passing these people real briefly. I'm at school for 8 hours with you, whatever. But once you go home, it's dwelling and it's boiling and it's so that's who you're gonna get into it with. It said the greatest immediate source of homicide victimization for Black Americans has historically been other Black offenders rather than offenders from outside racial groups. So what does that sound like? It sound like we the biggest problem to ourselves. Like this topic ain't gonna be really liked, but we're gonna just keep it real. Like what is causing the mentality of the Black on Black crime, the Black on Black murder to be specific? What's causing that? I mean, this is the most extreme crime, we talking about taking somebody out the game. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no coming back from that. We ain't talking about stealing no money. We ain't talking about fornicating with somebody's wife, adultery. You can come back from all that, technically. You take somebody out the game, that's it. Wherever they was at in judgment, that's what they had in judgment. And you gonna be judged for doing that. So you better, have a good reason for doing that. Like it's only, protecting your life. That's the only good reason to take somebody else's life was protection. It says this conclusion does not imply that Black America are uniquely violent. The same general intra-racial pattern exists across major racial groups. So, for you sensitive, sensitive ear listeners, because like a lot of folks, they get mad anytime even if it's constructive criticism. You Black, you speaking about the Black norm of thinking, because the Black norm of thinking is white man did me this, such and such did me that. It's just a cop out, pointing the finger, pointing the blame. It's a cop out. And I'm gonna keep it real. Most Negroes is feminine, female Negroes in male bodies. Most Negroes act like girls. They act like women. Like most of these violent crimes across the spectrum, most violent crimes are due to emotional behavior. Look at how many murders happen on a regular, just period. Like, is it that deep? Some money on somebody's head or something. Okay, that I can understand somebody. I'm not justifying that. But if you got, people out here broke. So you in the streets, or you into some criminal activity, somebody put some money on your head, somebody coming to get that. Most of these crimes that happen ain't about no money on somebody's head. It's about some words. It's about some words. That's all that's going on. Somebody said, or it's about an image being kept up. So, that like road rage is happening. That it ain't nothing going on the road worth killing somebody about. Oh, he cut me off. They showed the dude. This was like a year or two ago. They was in traffic. The Hispanic dude got out the car, ran up on the dude, and out the window, dude gave it to him. Yup.
Yeah, his kid in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just lost your life because you didn't want to just be quiet, or you didn't want to just mind your business. We in traffic, bro. Let him pass. He passed. he got out of your car to die. You went out of your way to die.
Yeah, that dude had a gun out too, which is why he got shot.
He had his gun out. He came up to the car, then he raised his hand. The dude in the car, the guy that shot him, he in the truck. He can't see what you got going on with your hands. So he seen him get out the car with the gun in this hand or in this hand. He didn't see him switch it. Yeah, so when he raised his hand, he on his top like that. You moving too much. You said, I know you got a gun and you moving too much. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, whatever happened in traffic, right on, whatever happened in traffic, was it worth you getting out the car to go and get killed? And I would assume he would, if he had a chance to respond now, he would say no. I would assume that. So, like, most of this stuff ain't about nothing of value. It's not about even any. It's not even about like war. It's not even war stuff. It's randomized killing. It say, however, homicide victimization rates among Black America have been substantially higher than among several other racial groups for many decades. So although it's intra-racial violence, we still got more the ratio is we doing more than other races, even to each other. The ratio wise, we hurt each other at a higher level than other races hurt themselves. So that's where the discrepancy in the numbers come in. Consequently, the impact of intra-racial violence has been especially severe in many predominantly Black neighborhoods. So the facts is most races kill themselves. All races across the board is more intra-racial, meaning Mexican on Mexican, Black on Black, white on white, Chinese on Chinese crime. That's the norm. So it's a lie to sit here and say we get killed from outside races more than anybody. That's not the facts. The facts is our interracial crimes are more high profile, but it don't happen more. We kill each other more than other people. All right. It says, was this also true during the civil rights era? So what do y'all think? Do y'all think during the civil rights era this was different?
Probably. I'd say yeah.
It says no. No. Well, it says yes, meaning no. It says yes. One common misconception is that intraracial homicide began during the crack epidemic. Historical homicide research shows otherwise. So that's a surprise to me too, because that's why I even looked into the civil rights. Because you would think, dang, we was like this in the civil rights, we was marching towards the same goal. Was the crime? It still was crime happening towards us. We still got mad at each other. It was still whatever. We still in the same neighborhood. It said Black homicide victims were already predominantly killed by Black offenders during the civil rights movement, approximately 1954 through 1968. White homicide victims were already predominantly killed by white offenders. The pattern itself did not begin in the 1980s. What changed was the magnitude. During the late 1960s, homicide rates began increasing nationally. The increase continued through 1970s, the 1980s, and reached historic peaks during the 1900s. Thus, the civil rights era did not introduce interracial violence. Rather, the later decades dramatically intensified it. Historical timeline. In the 1960s, lower homicide levels compared to later decades. Late 1960s, violent crimes began increasing nationally. In the 70s, urban economic decline accelerates. Manufacturing jobs begin disappearing. Neighborhoods lose employment opportunities. 1980s. Crack cocaine markets expand. Firearm violence increases dramatically. Gang conflicts intensify. Early 90s. National homicide rates reach historic modern peak. 1993 through 2014. One of the greatest declines in homicides in American history. 2020 to 21. During the pandemic era, homicides spiked. Homicides decline again in 2022 to present, but remain above some of the lowest years in the 2010s. So it's on a decline, but it remains above the lowest years of the 2010s. All right, so basically, you know, there was a whole timeline of how it was, you know, how it was going. I don't know how we're gonna show this, but this is the chart right here. That chart right there showing, that's the chart of the data that they spoke on. So if you go to the middle at the peak, tap it in the, you see where it's at the highest point, like the mountain. Yeah. Tap it on that. It'll show you the year. So he's showing you the chart and the graph. It's a little blurry. We couldn't screen share for some reason, but that chart is showing all the information I just spoke on, and that at the top, that's showing 1993, the peak of intraracial violence. So this is what we was talking about last night, 1993, and that goes exactly with the data. It showed the gang violence. It was that much gang violence going on back then. You know what I'm saying? And then what? It started declining. Who came in the presidency after that? I say around Tupac era, all that. It was Tupac, Biggie era, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton came in. It was George Bush during that time. Then Bill Clinton was elected in right around that time. And then you see the decline because they had the 3 strike law. And then around the time they had 3 strikes you out. Yeah. Bill Clinton. It's still around. Didn't it just pick out? I don't know all the states that do it, but yeah, it was Bush Senior first in '93. Then Clinton came right out, and it was declining all the way. You see that decline all the way until the 2000s, and it started back spiking up in 2021. But one thing about it is when Bill Clinton came in, Bill Clinton, I think he wrote off of Biden's law. See, all these people work together. You see what I'm saying? All these folks work together, even if it's from, what was you talking about the other day, when you go to court for like a case that was already established?
Case law.
Case law.
Case law.
So just like case law, they got all these things on the books that they can draw back from and say, hey, this happened then, shoot, we got to go the same route. You know what I'm saying? We gotta honor this ruling because it already happened. So, you know, just like that, these politicians, these people in office, they are drawing back from other bills, other structures that was put before them. So during Bill Clinton time, Bill Clinton is drawing off of Biden's law. And keep in mind, Bill Clinton was a Democrat, but the difference about him was he moved more like a Republican thought. Like he had to get them Republicans on to get them votes. So how he went was he was going against crime. He doubled down on crime, on felons, on you know what I'm saying? And that's how they got the 3 strikes you out really, really pushing. So he doubled down on crime like he was basically a smooth Republican. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't, and see what people don't realize about politics is, first of all, the scriptures tell us we shouldn't vote for somebody outside of our kindred. We can't vote for a king outside of our own stock. That will go against our interests because we got certain set of laws under the Most High, and we would need to attain to that. If we go and solicit into another dogma of thinking or faction of thinking, how is you going to uphold this law? You can't have two. So I don't vote for none of it. But for those who do, this is the structure you under. You under a structure of hand-me-down tickets. You know what I'm saying? They gotta go with this ruling because this has already been established and this is how their law work. So, with Bill Clinton, he was smooth, you know what I'm saying? Just like Obama. Obama was smooth. But what folks don't realize about politics is you're not supposed to vote because of somebody else. You're supposed to vote for somebody for your interests. Just like Yasharal should have been voting, so everybody wanted a king. Everybody wanted a king. Just give us a king. Give us a king. But you weren't even doing it. You was cool. You was really good because you had the Most High. You had the Most High over everything. He said, man, I'm going to set up a judge here, set up a judge there. It's really a more free reign. But they said, man, we want to be like the other nations. We want to have a king. So then the Most High said, okay, I'm going to give you Saul. But he ain't the right dude for the job. But he trying to show you, y'all looking for something that's never going to come and sustain y'all. You know what I'm saying? But now that we in this system, so now we got King David, now we got King Hezekiah, now we got King Solomon. So, he implemented the kingship, but that was never his original intent. The original intent was for the Most High to be our king. But, bringing it back to scale on what we're dealing with this nation is these is a whole different set of laws. Y'all talking about voting. Y'all talking about 4th of July coming up. Y'all talking about popping some fireworks. The 4th of July is a day for some people that was getting their freedom. We was not getting our freedom there. That's why we got Juneteenth that just passed. So you got two separate freedom days in the same nation. So it's showing you the separation. So the 4th of July is not for black folks. Like, that's a whole side topic, but we got to put that out there. You still going to celebrate it. Don't care what you're talking about. Then I'm about to tell y'all. Boy, but then y'all come and say, oh, y'all Bible thumping, believing in a white man. You dumb Negro. Like, you dumb Negro. Y'all sit here and tell us we some coons. We believe in a white man's book and a white man's religion. You Negroes is going to, I want to just keep on it for a while. Go ahead. Y'all going to pop some fireworks on y'all oppressor's birthday. Y'all celebrating y'all oppressor whooping your tail, because we don't got to be vulgar. Whooping your tail. No, you don't, because look, man, these Negroes are so dumb. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all are dumb. You gonna come to me talking about I believe in a white man's book when everybody in here was black. But you go and celebrate the white man's holiday that you was enslaved on. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. And get a new outfit and go spend. So that's dumb. But the so-called religion, or the culture that we're keeping, which is biblical and which is the foundation of black, you won't keep none of them days. So that's backwards. And that's the mindset that we battling. And that's what's going on in the community. And that's why we got a peak here coming. That's why we got a spike going on. Because you have not adhered unto the revelations and unto the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim, and you are trapped in darkness in your mind. Everything around you is death, killing, and decay and debauchery. Everything they got going on is debauchery. All right, so we're going to explain the graph in detail. It says the horizontal axis, the line going across his back, is the historical periods. The vertical axis represents the relative level of homicide. The rise from the late 1960s through 1993 reflects documented increase in homicide. The decline after 1993 represents one of the largest homicide decline in American history. The decline, it says the temporary increase during 2020 and 2021 reflects the nationwide pandemic era homicide spike. So during the pandemic, folks was left at home, and when you Negroes is left at home to do your own vices, for some reason, y'all don't stay at home. Y'all go out and y'all hurt each other. Like I remember it was a blizzard. It was a very blizzardy winter one time, and the homicide did not, usually the homicide go down. They were still killing each other in the winter. It was in the middle of the blizzard. So, like, you leave each other to do your own devices, and this is what happens. So during the pandemic, it spiked. The decline afterwards shows improvement while remaining above some of the lowest years of the 2010s. So, that's just basically how it's going, right? It's a wave effect. But the key thing is it's not a whole bunch of other races coming off into your community and doing you bad. Them is rare occasions and they get blowed up. Like my issue is with the statistics, with not even pulling up no numbers, just having regular conversation on people that are victims or have victimized people. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of killing going on. So my thing is, why or who within the community is gonna address that to the community? Who gonna stop the killing? Who gonna speak against the killing? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna protest those who support it? And if not, like shut up and like what is we talking about? Like if we're not gonna stop the killing, if we're not gonna stop the homicide, we're not gonna stop the statistics, like just shut up. If we're not gonna turn the music off, like it just is what it is. Like we sitting up here talking about, George Floyd or Carmelo Anthony. But like, man, look, remember the video I showed you, and the teacher was like, let's listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the lyrics. Like, don't be a hypocrite. So don't sit here and talk about somebody from outside the community coming in and doing something to somebody inside the community, and then you go and turn on, you shoot them up and bang. I don't even know who the song is. Herb G. Bold. Like, I don't know who it is now. I don't know because they got somebody coming out. But they're going to always keep somebody rolling out. They're going to always keep somebody rolling out. And they can say whatever they want. You can say NWA and all that. And yeah, but even with that, they still have more of a message. You know what I'm saying? And they was living it. They was actually living that more. Like these cats, they not living it. You know what I'm saying? They live it. You don't have to be in poverty, or you don't have to be incarcerated or into violence, but they putting themselves in them situations because it's glorified. Like this stuff is glorified. So it's basically, what do the statistics show? I think we already went over there. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Hit some scripts, because that's what everybody waiting on, ain't it? Hit some scriptures. It's multiple scriptures, but I think we're just gonna jump into Deuteronomy 28. All right, we're gonna connect the lesson to Deuteronomy 28, and we start at 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. All right. All right, down at 15. Because for those who don't know, in verse 1, it speaks about, and it shall come to pass. This is Deuteronomy 28 at verse 1. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah the Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command this day, that Yahuwah the Elohim will set thee on high of all nations of the earth. All right, that's not me speaking as the Bible. Whoever he's talking to. All right, this is the Bible. Did you write the Bible out?
No, sir.
Did any of y'all write the Bible? All right, then. Do y'all read the Bible? Do y'all believe it? All right, so all the Christians say they believe the Bible. Well, this is in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28 at verse 1, it say, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments which I've commanded thee this day, that Yahuwah thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. All right, so now we didn't write that. Now we're saying whoever. I'm not saying it's black folks. I'm not saying it's. I'm saying whoever he's talking to, that's what he said. At verse 2, and all these blessings, Baraka, shall come upon thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim. You're going to get all these blessings, all of these benefits. Down at verse 15. Down at verse 15. Now, this is the Most High telling his people, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you if you listen. At verse 15. But, and a lot of people can't deal with context clues and grammatical things. They don't know the prepositions and the different, English was a hard class. You feel me? It's the hardest. English, the hardest language to learn. So even some English speakers that read this Bible, that have camps, that have establishments, that have churches, that have whole religions. Muslims read the Bible, and they just don't understand it, and they need to put it and quote it in their book. It tell you about the children of Yasharal in the Quran. The good book. In that book.
It's the good book, huh?
It's this right here what we reading.
Tell them about the gun line, boss.
Tell them about the gun line, boss. That's coming to Indiana. So, he told you if you do this, but so this is what you call is contingent on certain things, right? Verse 15, it say, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim. So if you don't listen to observe and to do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake you. So if you listen, you get blessings and you get benefits. If you don't listen, then you get curses. If you listen, then all these good things will happen. If you don't listen, all these bad things is going to happen. Curse shall thou be in the city. Are we in the city? Yeah. Is it hard out here? Yes. And curse shalt thou be in the field. Now, was we in the field? Yeah. So we was cursed in the city and we was cursed in the field, or whoever he's talking to, right? I think I want to let y'all, the audience, decide for yourself who this is. But whoever he's speaking to, they would have been cursed in the city and cursed in the field for not obeying the commandments. Now, time and time again in the scriptures, do we see that the Israelites are obeying or disobeying the commandments? We see them disobeying. We see them disobeying. In the scriptures, in the book of what did you say, Zechariah, and he said when the land of Lebanon will be turned into a fruitful vale. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this up. This is in a book of. It's in a book of. I want to say Ezekiel. That's still 11 on there. I'm in Ezekiel 31. I want to say. Let me see.
$31 and $3.
31 and 3. What it say, y'all?
Behold, the Assyrian was cedar and Lebanon, bark and fair branches, with the shadowing shroud and a high stature, and his top was among the thick bushes.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. It's Isaiah 29 and 17. Isaiah 29 and 17. It say, it is not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. The meek also shall increase their joy in Yahuwah, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Yasharal. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, who redeemed Abraham concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face now wax pale. But when he seeth his children, the work of my hands in the midst of him, they shall sanctify my name and sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall fear the Elohim of Yasharal. They also that erred in the spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmured shall learn doctrine. So this is an end time prophecy on the return. Let me go up a little bit. I'm gonna jump up to verse 13. I'm gonna just hit 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall things framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? So he basically going into a prophecy of how in the Lebanon, a mountainous region, which is basically desolate, but it says it's going to be turned into a fruitful field. And it says everybody's going to be in harmony. You're not going to be going through despair. You're going to reverence the Holy One of Yasharal of Israel. Is that going on in the land? Like what's going on in the land is they're getting blowed up and they're getting bombed. They're getting flatlined. So like we just putting some things together, y'all. Like we're just putting some things together. Like if you believe in the Bible, then the people over there in Yasharal can't be the true Israelites, because this will not be happening. That's what I'm telling you. If the Bible is true, then there's another people in Deuteronomy 28:15 that is relevant to this. Because we see that Yasharal was never obedient all the way to the fullest in the scriptures. He told us what would happen to them people if they was not obedient. So if you're connecting who's who, like somebody lying. Somebody lying. But as we go through these curses, curse out that verse 16 in Deuteronomy 28. Curse out that be in the city, and curse out that be in the field. Curse shall be thy basket and thy store, your business. Your business gonna be cursed. You know, black folks got the highest rate of entrepreneurs, but in one of the biggest poverty states. The black woman technically is the most educated woman. Have you heard that? The black woman is technically the most educated woman, but we still aren't elevating. We still ain't elevating. It says, "Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body." What's the fruit of your body? Your children. And the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest. All right. So he said, if you listen to me, you're gonna have all this good stuff happen to you. If you don't, you're gonna have these curses. We're gonna jump down to about. I'm about to jump down to 37. It's saying, "Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahuwah shall lead thee." So you're not even gonna be called by your original name. You're gonna be a byword and a proverb. It's an astonishment. They're gonna look at you like, dang, how'd they get to that state? It says, "Thou shalt carry." We ain't gonna hit that. We're gonna hit verse 41. "Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, and thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." Verse 43. "The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low, and he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." So see, if we didn't keep the command, we see plenty of times in the scriptures the Israelites did not keep the commandment. So we're going to be broke from our lineage. We're going to be broke from our homes. It's going to be rape. It's going to be everything that we see there. "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." So that's a mark. That's a sign he said he put on you. He put a sign on his people forever that you're going to be able to tell who they are. These are going to be the signs on you. But they'll tell you that if you put a box on your head, you know how they put that box on your head? They think that's their mark. And they jump around in a circle, and they hava nagila hava. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got a Rubik's Cube on your forehead. You just all the way confused, man. So you
don't even believe.
Yeah. Y'all do all that to not believe. Ain't no Messiah coming back. Ain't no da-da-da-da-da. They think they Messiah is here with them. Some little 30-year-old dude.
The blind dude.
I didn't know it was blind.
He was blind.
Oh, I know.
I heard somebody say he was blind.
I know he was like 30. He was a young dude. So they say, "Because thou serves not Yahuwah thy Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things." Verse 47, Deuteronomy 28. If you, man, this is how life should go. You should wake up and be grateful. You should see your wife and your children, your family and your spiritual family. and y'all should be happy, and y'all should be intertwined and worshiping. You should be some fellowshipping going on. Should be some Shema, Yasharal going on. It should be some set apart business. I don't see none of that in the community. It'd be like, man, this cat did this, shorty that. It'd be posts online I be seeing that be like, what? And it's like all the anger, it's on each other. I done seen some comments, y'all. She said, please don't have a baby with him so my son don't be yo. I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And all it is home training. We gotta get some home training because somebody had to tell me one time, you know what I'm saying, a couple times, like, man, the stuff you posting, like, that's not beneficial. You know what I mean? Like, why would you got the choice to put anything you want on. You choose to put that out there. So, like, that should be a telltale sign on, like, where your heart is on what you post. Like, you chose to post that. That's why I say everything I put, it got to have Yahuwah stamp on it. It says, because thou serve not Yahuwah thy Elohim with joyfulness and with gladness of the heart and with abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahuwah shall send against thee in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right, I'm going to jump down. Oh, yeah, we're going to jump down here. Verse, let's just hit these highlights. Verse 54. It say, so that the man that is tender among you. This is, now we're getting back into the lesson because this is what it is. It's a bunch of tender brothers. Yeah, tenderism. Thank you. Falling straight off the bone. They soft, but they acting like they hard. It's tender behavior, right? It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. This is black on black crime. All right, scientifically speaking, because we got to put everything in front. Like, I don't want to we could just talk to y'all, but we got to put it in frame because it's a lot of different people from demographics and stuff. Scientifically speaking, you can Google this. Did life originate in Africa? It's going to tell you yes. All right, so it's going to tell you that life originated in Africa. That's as far back, or it's going to tell you that humanoids originated in Africa. All right. So with that being the case, if we know humanoids originated in Africa, we know that the original man and woman, they never have to be black, right? The original man and woman had to be black. Adam and Eve had to be black according to science. I'm just saying according to science. They say some hundreds of millions of years ago. They say life originated in some primordial soup some billion years ago. A little bowl of soup that was just bubbling, and then life just jumped, a fish or something crawled out of it, and then he evolved and became. They got all that knowledge. They got all that. This is what they say, so I'm gonna go with what they say. Human life starting some million years ago in Africa, if that's the case, and then if the white man's religion is the Bible, then guess what? The white man's religion is telling you that the original Adam and Eve was black that started in Africa some million years ago, okay? And this is the mother of all living. And then we know Cain and Abel came. And Cain and Abel, they wasn't clicking, so Cain killed Abel. So that would be black on black crime. That would be the first black on black murder. So we got that recorded here in Genesis. So from the beginning of time, you know, I mean his brother. It didn't even take that many people to get it cracking. And it was over what? Jealousy. It wasn't about no money on his head. It wasn't about no woman. It was just about jealousy. It was an internal conflict that Cain had with himself. He said, I gotta kill this man. He didn't took my shine. He didn't took my shine. So it said, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So we see a lot of this. We see a lot of all of this. We see the evil eye towards our brother. We see the relationships being toxic, not culminating nothing. It said, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, and that could be by choice or it could be by force. But this is what's happening. These are the curses we under. It says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege and in the straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee. And it says, in all thy gates. And yeah, there's really was a point in time where they was eating their children because they didn't have nothing to eat, but also continually of what do you call it? Like it's rolling over curse. Like when they talk about giving your children over to Baal. Yeah. Like you don't see, like, you know what that meant was they would heat up the bull god hands. You know what I'm saying? The Baal bull god, they would heat up the furnace, they would heat his hands up, and they would put their babies in his hands and sacrifice them. That's how they were sacrificing unto Baal. So like we'll say, oh well, nobody's doing that no more. Well, what about Michael Jackson? Like, see, Baal is the system now. It's the system. What about Lil Wayne? What about like all these little Disney kids that come up talking about they got molested, all the Epsteins? You're sacrificing your child to Baal. See, this stuff still happens spiritually. You just can't make the connection. So you think, oh, that stuff don't happen no more. The Bible ain't real. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? You may say, well, what's wrong with Lil Wayne? He's rich. Like, look at his face. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, they glorifying the wrong stuff. These dudes hygiene be off. They got money, and you have a baby with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people's priorities is all just messed up. It say verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband and of her bosom, and towards her son and towards her daughter. So the natural loving woman, she gonna be looking at her daughter like she competition, looking at her son like you look too much like your daddy, and I really can't stand him. So these are the curses. These are the curses and the contributing factors to the black on black crime. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straightness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee at the gates, and have his credit all messed up by the age of 7 because she used his name. But you see what I'm saying? This is sacrificing your child to Baal. This is the curses of Deuteronomy 28. But because they said, oh, well, they're going to eat the children, that threw you off because you can't imagine nobody eating. But let time keep coming. Look, they having abortions. So you don't think somebody... I'm just saying, man, once you look at the scriptures from a sober mind, then, because like you not sober as far as, oh, we drunk and reading the Bible, but sober as you could be drunk off of the media, you drunk off the doctrine, you went to church your whole life, you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know what's going on. You just know church and a bunch of verses. You can quote a bunch of verses off the top of your head,
but you have no idea what is going on. And then you get up here and spread a whole doctrine, lead a whole people astray, and we got the highest level of crime going on right here in our community because you don't really have the answers. I got the answers. I got the answers that came straight out the book. You know what I'm saying? The answers is this. We are under a generational curse. All right. So as a black man, as a black woman, every nation got a spirit put on them. I ain't make this up. I'm not making this up. Every nation got spirit put on them. You originate from one of the three branches, Shemitic, Hamitic, Yaphetic. That you can't deviate from that. Now, if we are under this Shemitic, right, because that's what it is, we just showed y'all that we didn't even get down to 68. We didn't get down to verse 68. Man, can you pull up a picture of a dollar bill?
Yeah, I was trying to find this. You were talking about the abortions. I was trying to find that confrontation a woman had with the abortion doctor outside the facility, and you hear the demon as he was talking. But I'm gonna try to find it.
You say he had a demon on him?
Yeah, he here. He didn't deny anything. He said, "Yeah, I killed the baby." Yeah.
I mean, really though, I mean, because you can, rather than abortion, you can adopt.
Yeah, because they sell the tissues and little organs or whatever of the abortion people or babies. And that's what's in most of your vaccines too. It's in most of your vaccines, or not all of your vaccines. Aborted babies.
That's it.
And that food out here.
Yeah. There you go. Dollar bill.
Let's see what it looks like.
Bill, y'all.
Just keep that up there. Yeah, just keep that right there. So it's like, if you don't observe and do all these words of the law that is written in the book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahuwah thy Elohim, then Yahuwah will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and long countenance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. They say, moreover, I will bring upon all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. So, like, if you're looking at that dollar, we see a lot of symbols on there. I think we looked at this before, but pull that back. On the front, you just see George Washington, one of the founding fathers in this country of Masonry. He was a big-time Mason. All right, and he was the one who Prince Hall, the black Mason, branched off of him because he went to Africa and started Masonic African, right? So, and they never was really recognized as being all the way legit. So, you Negroes even be chasing
the wicked, and then you're not even accepted for the same code.
They won't even let you praise the devil at the same level as them.
And this is how bad it is. Blacks can't go into a white Masonic lodge if it ain't changed. But the whites can go into the blacks. Nah, I remember doing that research when I first got into the truth. My daddy was a Mason. That was my first research.
Dang. So it say, moreover, I will bring unto thee all the curses. So, like, if you look at these symbols, man. The one on the right, you'll probably say, "Oh, that is an eagle. That's an American symbol." You know what I'm saying? How did America get its symbol? America got its symbol from Rome, and Rome's symbol is the eagle or aquila. All right. Now on the left, you see the pyramid and the eye. I think that's just self-explanatory. Where do the pyramids come from? We know it's pyramids all over the world, but where are the famous pyramids at? Egypt. Why is that on your money? Why is that on your money? What is these symbols? Like y'all, this for the love of money. This is what everybody doing it for. What's on your money? Egypt is on your money. And every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will Yahuwah bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. I'm gonna jump down to verse 68. Yeah, you can keep it up there because we're gonna just speak on it. It say, and Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. This is the American dollar. It got the Egyptian symbol on there, and it also got the eagle or aquila on there. But the thing y'all don't know about this dollar is these is called seals. Them little circles with the pyramid and that seal on the right. It was great debate because it was the Masons that was debating on the design of the dollar, and they was going with the phoenix. It's really not an eagle there; it's a phoenix there. And the phoenix is what? Another historical Egyptian symbol. So it's a rising phoenix, and there's actually like rebirth stuff. Yup. And then if you look above that, them stars above his head, that's actually the Star David, as they call it, or the same 6-point star that the flag of Israel used. So everybody sitting here like, well, what's this connection with Israel and America? It's right here on your money. You got the star. You see them stars on the right above the eagle. It's like 21 or however many stars it is, but it makes the form of a 6-point star. See, this the subliminal stuff they're gonna put in front of you. You just in the money. You just think a good design. Look, there you go, out. Ain't nobody never really thought about what this stuff mean on here. I think Anuit Coatip is something out of many one or something, but the Novus Order Seculum, the new world order, basically. Out of one many, and then it's the new world order. That's on the pyramid. Then you have over here on the right a bunch of, now they're 5-point stars, but the shape of them make a 6-point star. The shape of them make a 6-point star, which is the Star of Israel. The eagle itself is actually a phoenix, and then they got the 21 arrows or something. It's like 13 feathers on it. So all of this stuff is tied in. I think that shield they got highlighted, I think that's dealing with the apron or something. This is probably some Masonic stuff.
All of it Masonic and let's say Masonic Egyptologists.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything that represents Babylon, you can say, is on the top. And
this is what they killing for.
They killing for the cotton.
They killing, it's cotton mixed with paper for a piece of paper. But this is what they killing for. So like as we see the curses, as we see the statistics, as we see, like, I just ain't trying to hear it that it's about all these people from outside the community coming in giving us the problem. think I sent it to you. I think First Peter. I think I sent you a verse.
Oh, we was reading the other day.
Yeah. First Peter 4:17. First Peter chapter 4 at verse 17. We just want to show y'all a couple of things, you know what I'm saying, that it's deep with this Egypt thing. But on the real, this is spiritual Egypt. You know what I mean? So you can't say there's no Egyptian connection with America when it was a whole thing called Egyptomania. They was literally crazy about Egypt over here, and that's why they built their cities like Egypt. They got phallus downtown. Washington, D.C. is built off of Egyptology, and Indianapolis is built off of Washington, D.C.
Don't forget that in D.C., they got that 6-pointed star around all the monuments. 6-pointed star. If you look at it from the aerial view, go from building to building, they cross. It's like that 6-point star.
It's witchcraft, man. Just like the Pentagon, like they do alchemy and stuff. You draw a circle or you draw a shape around it, then you do your witchcraft within it.
And they're all in every city. They all face one way. The front of it face one way, and then I already got they orders whatever set up. That's how it is. So it means something no matter what city you go to.
You walk past state legislative buildings and all that. It's got some spiritual connection. It's just they spirituality different than ours. You know what I'm saying? So people don't think
but they use the Bible to do it.
Because that's the only thing that got power.
Yeah, they use mainly they use Enoch to do it. The book of Enoch to get their stuff down.
To get it right.
Yeah.
First Peter 4:17. It's for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim. All right, so we say, amen, diverse earthquakes. Amen, it's about to be time to, somebody said the rapture the other day. But, I didn't have time to get into that. But everybody knows something coming. Everybody know that judgment is coming or that it's a shift coming, right? It's a judgment must begin at the house of the Most High Elohim, and if it first begins at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Elohim? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So he's saying, man, judgment need to begin at home. You need to start getting your home together first before you go out here and start pointing a finger at anybody else. And if that's the case, the righteous ones within that is going to be scarcely saved. You're going to even if you're righteous, you barely making it in your righteousness. Because you ain't got no righteousness. All your righteousness is in Yahuwah. But you barely making it in. It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? That's a rhetorical question. They're not going to appear there.
Yeah.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit to keeping of their souls to him in the well-doing, as unto a faithful creator. So he said, wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim. You're supposed to suffer to the will of Elohim. Now that suffering don't necessarily, I don't particularly think that Yahuwah is about to have you out there homeless, blind, poor, broke down, beat down, but it's gonna be some suffering. It might be one of them or some of them at one point in time. It might be all of them. But you're gonna have to do some suffering. But on top of that, on top of the suffering, you know, it's gonna be some saving. It's gonna be some redemption. So, like, my thing is, I'm not about to really stress or trip off what's about to happen. I'm gonna just put the faith in Yahuwah. I'm gonna just put the faith in Yahuwah. Let him do what he gotta do. Cause how he gonna do what he gotta do if you trying to do what he's supposed to do? But when it comes to us killing each other, you know, this is probably gonna shock you. Like, I don't think it's gonna stop. Like, it's not gonna stop. So what's he saying? Judgment must begin at the house of Elohim. So one thing about it is judgment is like this. Man, look, once these cats get put in that grave and you know there's on some wickedness, like, don't be at the funeral. Please don't be at the funeral like, oh, he was a good brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you're lying now. You know what I'm saying? Now
they lie every week on that food.
You lie, yeah, so they into lying. But y'all gotta, those attending, y'all gotta understand, like, that's a lie. Like, no, he was a hitman. Like, he was breaking the commandments. Like, see, he was breaking the commandments. Just say that, man. He was breaking the commandments. That's what I don't want for y'all. See how young he left? See how prosperous his future looked? I don't want that for y'all. Don't go that route. But no, they're gonna say, he left behind just such children. Da, 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 da.
He loved them children.
He loved them children. If he loved them children, why did he put himself in them situations to risk it all?
Ain't seen them children.
Ain't seen them. When he was here, what was he doing with them children? Where's your children at?
They say they gave their life to Christ at an early age. It was in the church.
Mm-hmm. Gave your life to Christ at an early age, and then went left from there. Early. You just got into wickedness early. You know, so it's like, so it's not gonna be no, like, and this is what everybody keep thinking it's gonna be some speaker, some orator, some. The civil rights is over. This is the closest you get to civil rights now is Akbar and Abraham and the Mishpaka coming to y'all, busting y'all head with some scriptures over to YouTube. Ain't no civil rights movement now. Like, you better just really, you know, save yourself. He said, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You gotta save yourself. You can't look at the whole race or the whole nation of people and think they're gonna get on track. They're not gonna get on track. It's not gonna stop. It's not a happy ending to the message. It's not like wave the magic wand. The conclusion is get out. So all them curses is for the whole nation, but you individually don't have to be under that curse. So individually get out. That's why I said work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You got to be scared. Like, dang, I seen what happened. I'm not going over there. Oh, dang, over there too. Okay, I'm about to maneuver. I'm about to pivot. Like, you got to move like that. Move with fear. Fear this man Yahuwah. Y'all don't fear nothing. Y'all say y'all fear Yahuwah, but you do everything under the sun. So you really don't fear Yahuwah. Then he said, judgment got to begin at the house of Elohim. Or we supposed to be his children, so we should be his house. So it got to begin with us. It do come with the cutting off of things, man. Why can't we cut stuff off? You know what I'm saying? But like I say all the time, though, you know, you can go to your, like, I'm with the Brews, we busting up scripts open. But I could go to the Blood family and never had a Bible study with you. So who do you really serve? At verse 18, if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner be? You don't bust your book open. You don't fast. You don't pray. You don't do it. How are you righteous? How are you godly? If I don't hit the court and make buckets, how am I Hoover? I'm a hooper in my own mind, in your own mind. You a saint in your own mind, but you really a devil. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, we coming with the message. Yeah, black on black crime is a horrible thing, right? It's a whole bunch of cats getting killed. You know, they ran them Israelites off the corner the other day. Like, it's not going, like, I don't see it like that though. And that's what I'm saying. You could be under the curse, like it could be a generational curse, and then your son be the first to graduate college and be a Fortune 500. He broke the generational curse. So while we're all under this covenant curse as a nation of people, you don't have to be under that curse, man. You don't have to die. You don't have to go out there and do. You don't have to die. You don't have to die over jealousy. You don't have to die over no woman. You don't have to do no gang violence. You don't have to run up in nobody's home and become a victim. Like, you don't have to do that. Ain't nothing wrong with practicing the fruits of the spirit. They don't know the fruits of the spirit up. You know what I'm saying? Patience and long suffering. So like, y'all don't have no patience. Y'all be like, man, yo, you know, now it's a joke for you to punch a clock. You a lame if you clock in. How the bills go? Nah, I'd rather go hit a lick. But then once you go hit that lick, like, what people don't understand is once you get that court fee, once you got to get that attorney, once you got to sit that time down, that lick money, you probably couldn't even pay for all that with that lick money, or you just did. That's not good. You just hit a lick, and now you gotta get a public defender.
Freshly at law school.
Like, they about to, and then anyway, they about to go have lunch with the judge
and everybody else.
And then they're gonna be saying, man, why'd you have me in there? Why'd you say that objection, man? You knew you taking up time. We should have been here in the cafeteria. They trying to get out of there. They at work.
They ready to go home.
They ready to go home. Just like you ready to go home on your job, they ready to go home. Objection. He like, what they be saying? Denied.
Yeah.
It's time to go eat.
Sustain, something like that.
Yeah, sustain. If they keep it going, they sustain. They ain't sustaining nothing if they hungry.
Yeah.
Let's take a recess. Hey, why are you over there going? Oh.
See you in my chamber. So.
Yeah, let's see you in my chambers. So, you know, it's a joke to them. But for real, man, take yourself out of the system. Put yourself into the covenant. That's what it's about. Put yourself into the covenant. Take yourself out of the system. And I can't say it no easier than that.
That's all.
That's it. That's all. So, you know, when it comes to these high profile cases, y'all, we're not saying that they don't deserve attention. Not even saying that we ain't gonna speak on it and, you know, hold it down. But it's not the norm. That is not the norm. The norm is Pookie kill Ray Ray. The norm is Keisha put little Bobo up in that place. That's the norm. The norm is, you know, you try and get to the club and you leave your children at home while you go to this club. You know, the norm is debauchery. The norm is low vibrational. The norm is, it's all of this negativity that I'm telling you. That's the normal. That's the norm. So we say, hey, look, get up out of the norm. Be uncomfortable and fix yourself. Fix your children's minds. Fix your brotherhood and your sister's minds. That when we come into each other's space, it ain't no conflict. And if it is a conflict, we could just part ways and we don't got to be around each other. But why do I got to take you out the game, Mark? Because we don't get along. So with that being said, you know, say Toda Rabai. If anybody got anything else they want to bring out, you know,
in that phone.
you know, that Bible, yeah. All right, man. Well, you know, shout out to, you know, my aunt Chris that's supposed to be here. He had some real good points, but you know, maybe next time But yeah, with that gang life and gang activity, now it's kind of converted into it's still the same thing. But it ain't no Crips and blood, it's just really cliques. Yeah. It's like clique banging. So
It's in the Hebrew community too.
Yeah. And that's an issue. You need to cut it. And that's an issue. You need to cut it. Like, ain't no gang. Look, Yahuwah the gang. If it ain't, the commandments is the gang. If it ain't about that, that's how you know you off. And until we get that understood, like, man, but just take yourself out of whatever it is that's not beneficial. You don't be loyal. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be loyal to your own demise. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're trying to prove something. People sit here and stay on the ship until it sinks. Like, where they get that from? Get off the boat. Get a life jacket. Get off the boat. Go save yourself. Go get to some dry land. So don't fall a victim to the jealousy. Don't fall a victim to trying to chase that money. Don't fall a victim to like whatever the image is of trying to be the man. You got all these women you pimping or whatever. It's like, clean your mind up. Once you clean your mind up, then you can possess the mind of the Most High. The Most High is not in y'all. The Most High is not in y'all. The Most High is against y'all. He don't want to be against y'all, but like he's showing y'all mercy every day. Y'all get off that interstate. Every day you get back from running that play, but your grace gonna run out. Your grace gonna run out, and then you're gonna be a statistic, and we're gonna be pulling you up on the chart. And we don't want that. And Most High forbid that y'all choose to go that route, but like that's what it is. The statistics showing most Negroes are dumb Negroes, and that's what they're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be mean. I ain't trying to be fun.
They fall right into the trap they got set up.
It is a trap set up for you. So why you want to go into that trap? Like, and we telling you, we like, hey, look, and y'all like, oh, you an old head. Yeah, I'm an old head for a reason. Y'all ain't making it past 25, 21. Like, I'm doing better than you because you're about to die, bro. You're about to die. Y'all are about to die. Y'all about to kill each other. It ain't no. And you didn't have to do it though. Like all you had to do was not do it. You gonna sit down in that cell for the rest of your life. One go to hell, one go to jail. It's a 2-for-1 cell. So then he gone. He can't repent. He gone. You ain't probably never even heard the truth, and you better go in there and become a Muslim. And then on top of that, you ain't even gonna be able to get your mind right because you did it to yourself.
You see how they expecting the crime. That's why they building these new prisons like KJ said.
Yup.
And all these prisons are privatized. So
what you mean by
like put in on it? Like it's you can open you a prison, but it's just like with the churches. You got the paperwork you fill out. Yeah, you have to follow the rules and regulations where you continue to get government funding for it. But it's your just like CCA.
Okay.
CCA was a private jail, and then CCA was about to start suing the cities and states because they was voiding their contract. They said, "Hey, you ain't got enough people in here. They need to start
filling this mother
up in here. Right. My jail empty."
They said we agreed on these terms. You would keep it at 85% capacity.
Also like what they did with the ICE, because everybody didn't put a section in there for ICE people in prison to get a piece of that case.
Yeah, I think that's been the thing. It's just ain't really hit till just now. And folks just overlooking it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? ICE is popping up here. Nigga, they been here. They've been here just like the Jewish police departments and Chinese police departments been here. You just ain't overlooked. You just overlooked.
But yeah, man. Well, you know, that's all we want to bring to y'all, man, was just put that meat on your head. You feel me? Tell you stop hurting each other, stop killing, stop the violence. But y'all ain't gonna stop it. So for that one, and that's what we're talking about too, the one person to get this understanding, man, just save yourself, because everybody ain't gonna get it. Everybody don't care. Don't be scared to be the black sheep, the outside the norm. Don't be scared. Save your soul. I'll take my little shekels and live. And with that, we say Shabbat Shalom. You got anything you want to say to him, Justice? Shalom. Our president.